This is where I come to overcome. This is where I feel like I belong. This is one of those transcending spaces. This is where I feel my life is stable. This is where I'm welcome at the table. This is where I'm not just one of many faces. When my soul needs something more, this is where my heart will soar. This is where my heart will soar. This is where I find nobility, where I discover my ability to rise to the challenges life has placed before me. This is where I find my family. This is where I find I'm truly free, surrounded by the people who adore me. When my soul needs something more, this is where my heart will soar. This is where my heart will soar. When I need to push my limits, getting stronger by the minute, I walk through that open door. This is where my heart will soar. 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 This is where I come to find myself. This is where I come to offer help. This is where I'm not just one of many faces.
Oh, what a wonderful, wonderful tribute to our 39th lesson season. If this is your first time seeing that slideshow, that's a representation of the classes that we enjoyed this year, and it was played to the song Soar by Todd Herzog, one of our local musicians and talents who generously wrote that anthem for Camelot. On the screen with me today, we've got the lovely Rebecca and Hannah. And there's also a QR code. If you are watching and you are new to the program and would like information, use your phone, click on that code, and it'll take you directly to our website. On to the lesson season. We had just a spectacular year, a full writer schedule, and before we look to the new season, Hannah and Rebecca, do either of you have some fun moments that during the lesson year that you'd like to share?
Sure, go ahead. Okay, I'll go first. So we did several continuing education clinics over the lesson season. One of them was with Sabra Pipoli at Hoof Falls and Foot Falls, and one of the things that she emphasized was, a lot of instructors, they really focus on the riding skills and progressing those, and then forget the mounting and dismounting skills and progressing those and making those more independent. So we really took that to heart, and a lot of our students this year, we've had them checking their cinches and doing that kind of stuff, or their girths. But two students in particular, Heidi and Leslie, not only checked their own cinches, they led their horses up to the ramp, mounted independently. We were still supervising, but they mounted independently. I had to take some very deep breaths, but they did it. They took their reins. They just got on without a horse leader holding the horse. So that was really cool.
I often talk about our students' right to risk, and what people don't take into account is it's not just the students taking a risk. The instructors, the horses, the volunteers all take a risk in some way, shape, or form. And the instructors came back from that workshop, and I kept hearing safe risk. And I was just delighted to see that the instructors were ready to push students a little harder towards their independence. So that's a great thing to share. How about you, Hannah?
It's
What
me.
have you got?
It's me. So this year, finally, we are back to our more normal protocol, which has been just such a wonderful relief for everyone. And what that really did was open up opportunities to bring in new volunteers, bring in new students. And we were so fortunate this last year to bring on someone, a young person who was finishing her internship as part of her school program. And hello, Alicia. Hi, Lynn, who are both watching. Thank you so much. And anyone else who'd like to add a comment, please feel free. We love seeing that you're here with us. Anyhow, so our intern, or her internship, allowed her to come out multiple days per week and to have exposure to not only horses, to which she loves, but to people with disabilities and to our model of working together as staff and with volunteers and with the horses and with the students providing that service. One of our volunteers kept saying, Hannah, this is giving her the wrong idea of what it's going to be like when she's an actual adult, because actual adults don't get to have this experience when they go to work. And that is just so true, that most people, regardless of their profession, they don't get to have this experience where, it's out every day is something new. Every day is a party, and there are risks involved. And that's really why we spend so much time going to continuing education. It's not just to help our students advance and to progress their skills, which is awesome, but it's also to help keep them safe and learn how we can continue to provide that risk, which is so important to Camelot, to the Camelot model, but in a way that is as safe as possible for our students. So yeah, so it was a really great year. I think we all learned a lot and got exposed to some new things, and it's just been fun. Looking forward to the next one already.
Me too. And speaking of Vaishnavi, this young lady, she went from intern to, she stepped up to the plate, and she is now our current weekend ranch hand. We're very, very excited to have her on board. She's strong, young, enthusiastic, loves her time with the horses, and with many of our interns, when they finish their internship, they go on to the next chapter of their lives. And I'm very happy that we get to hang on to Vaishnavi a little bit longer. So that's great news.
Definitely.
All the way around the room there for Camelot.
Yay!
Yay! So the slideshow that we started off this live broadcast with was also shown during Hose and Heroes. It was the opener for our spring event, and as much as we wanted to have that event in person, we held it virtually. Dynamics around COVID were still very much in flux, and the event was a tremendous success. I want to say that we had record support with sponsorships. So a big shout out to all of our sponsors this year. Our diamond level sponsors was super popular. And to say that sponsorships go a long way to covering hard costs associated with holding events is just a tremendous understatement. We also had record heart sales. Those hearts with dedications are circling the meeting room, indoor classroom, and they'll stay there in place until we start our next fundraising campaign, Starry Nights. It's wonderful to walk through, to glance up, and at the roof line we see these beautiful hearts, which are representation of the love and support that is out there in our community for this program. To read the dedications, it never ceases to warm my heart. And to our viewers watching that participated on the day of the event, thank you to each and every one of you. You are really why this program is so healthy and thriving. We can't do this without your support. And we've had, as Hannah mentioned, busy year, full schedule, lots of students coming out for weekly classes. We resumed field trips. Thank you, Hannah, for getting that very fun program enrichment back up off the ground now that COVID has settled down a little bit. And we also have a very big announcement to make. So drum roll, if you haven't heard already.
We are now at Camelot. We are now a Path International Premier Accredited Center. Yay!
That's huge.
It is. It is huge. There are not many of them in the state of Arizona. We are the only one in the city of Scottsdale. And it was a multi-year process. It took the efforts of many, many people. You know who you are, but thank you again. And
Lots of committees.
so much, so much. So what that entails is we have to meet as a center. We have to meet or exceed standards. Yay! Thank you, Alicia. We have to meet or
We're
exceed.
missing you, Alicia, by the way.
We are. We wish you were here. Standards set out by Path International. So those are outlining administration, facilities, the mounted standards, ground standards, driving standards. I know I'm missing one in there somewhere as well. So all of these categories, and we had to meet or exceed all of the standards within, which included writing policies and then demonstrating through written evidence and then through physical evidence as well how we meet or exceed our own policies that adhere to those standards. So evaluators came out. They spent the entire day here. I think I sweat through 2 shirts unnecessarily because, of course, our facility is top of the line. Our staff and our volunteers and our horses and all of our equipment is top of the line. So we definitely exceeded those standards, and we are just thrilled. So this now is valid for 5 years. After 5 years, then we have to re-accredit and we prove again how we meet those standards. It's a little bit of a less stressful process now that we've been through it once and we have everything where we need it to be, but it is a big deal.
And those standards, those are the safety standards.
Those are
in
safety
the industry.
standards, yeah, or best practice
Best
standards,
practice.
yeah. Absolutely.
It's a very big deal. And Hannah, can you tell me how many programs in the state of Arizona
Oh,
have
goodness.
certified driving
Zero,
instructors?
except for us.
Yes.
Yes.
We're it, guys. We are it. And that is huge. When I started at Camelot 20 years ago, crazy to think how time flies, driving was a very integral part of the program. And our founder, Eileen Chahusky, she learned to drive in the beautiful redwood forests in California under the tutelage of Joseph Rivers. And driving was very important from the very beginning. There are a lot of students that, for a variety of physical reasons, might not be able to safely sit astride a horse. And they can safely drive with support in place. And it's kind of crazy because people might not realize this, but driving is way more inherently dangerous than horseback riding. Yet it's something that we can offer students that might not be able to sit safely astride. So it's kind of an interesting mix. It's very complex, and I anticipate in the future that we will have a lot of people reaching out to this program for support and guidance and instruction so that they too can start driving programs at their facilities, because there's a huge need and there's a lot of interest, but interest and knowledge so that it can be done safely are really what's needed for that element. And as a premier accredited center, we now have the credentials standing behind our work to provide that same training to other programs. It's really very big. Hannah and Rebecca are both certified driving instructors, and that is also something that no other PATH program has. So we're very fortunate that that part of our program is so healthy.
So I see a congratulations from Gail Welsh and Alicia, Mrs. Bean here. We know it's summer schedule is now in effect, so our duties change a little bit to maintain and to elevate the program over the summer while we don't have classes. It's too hot. It's too hot for the students, for the horses, and for our volunteers. And something just hit the window. I think it was a bird.
Yeah, we have a road runner that sometimes knocks on the door, so that might have been the road runner saying
Something's
hello.
happening out there. Oh, okay.
We have the blinds closed, so I can't peek and see what's outside.
That was
My
great.
natural wonder distraction.
We are surrounded by animals, both domestic and wild, so it's pretty great. But I did want to just mention then we have something else coming up here pretty soon in the fall, and I'll pass that on to Rebecca.
It's me. Okay. Starry Nights, you guys. It's coming up October 21st. And for the first time in a couple of years, we're going to be back at the Scottsdale Plaza Resort in
Yay.
person.
Thankfully, yay.
Find your nice dress.
I'm ready. I'm going to go put it on right now.
We are expecting a full house, so there will be announcements coming soon about tickets, but make sure you get your tickets early. so you can make sure you can attend.
Make sure you can attend. Yeah, we'll have limited seating. The last few years, while we're at the resort, they've got a private separate building that we've held the event in. And I think at capacity, Hannah, is it 150?
That's what's in my
Guests,
head.
I
It's
think.
either 110 or 150.
Yeah. But we've got a date scheduled. It's happening. We're going to be live. We're going to be in person, and as much fun. We will also broadcast live. So for guests that are not able to attend, they will be able to participate. They will get. Yes, we love the two on the couch theme that we've done. Oops, got an itchy nose there. And so we'll be seeing that at the resort. It's going to be super fun. And it's another, I have to say, Starry Nights is a platform that brings in probably a third of our operating revenue. For those of you watching that are new, Camelot has not, will not charge for our program services. So our fundraising events are instrumental in providing the necessary revenue so that we can operate the program. And Starry Nights is a big part of that, very necessary opportunity, and it gives us a chance to spotlight students, and there's just nothing like being there in person and celebrating.
We see a congratulations from Jack and Nancy in Ohio. So thank you to everyone who is watching from distances far and near.
Thanks to our man behind the curtain, Mr. Raymond Klein. He's the one that is.
It's over here somewhere.
Cameras are flipped. So yes, he's that
We
way.
see him now.
He's here.
So in closing, I do want to say thank you to our dedicated volunteers, I've got a board of directors that provides great counsel and support, to our supporters, both financially, those that provide in-kind services. We can't do this without you. Next year is a milestone year. We're going to be celebrating our 40th year of program services. That's a big deal. 40 years ago, Eileen started this program, and we are the oldest program in the Valley, and we are now a Premier accredited, which just shouts out to the world at large just how wonderful the quality of services to our students is. And I want to thank you all for being there. Hannah and Rebecca, thanks for joining me in the office. This isn't the last you've seen of us. We'll tune in periodically. Next we'll be coming to you talking about the horses this summer and how they are faring in our crazy Arizona temperatures. So don't go far.
Bye.